Hi, Kid Davy here. I want to show you how to make this modified pamphlet booklet. It has a ribbon tie. You could also, for the spine, keep the spine together, you could also use some decorative string or some thick wax linen thread. And once you've made the book, you can embellish it. Here I did a little weaving and collaging onto it. Or it could just be a booklet with blank pages that could be to commemorate a trip, or you could put family photos in it. So it's a basic pamphlet booklet, but it has this fun little decorative spine. So the tools that you need to make the book are a ruler, a pencil, an awl if you have one, or you could use a chunky needle if you don't have an awl, one that can make some kind of a starter hole. Then a bone folder if you have one. If you don't have a bone folder, you can use the edge of your ruler. An X-Acto knife and or scissors. And then if you have some of these little binder clips. If you don't have binder clips, you could just use paper clips. Papers you need to make this book would be 3 or 4 sheets of 3.5 by 6-inch paper, and it could be computer weight paper. This is just some watercolor paper that I just splashed some color on. And you could also use a different kind of, a different pattern paper for the cover if you want. Here I used a paper that has a slightly different pattern than the pages on the inside. But the pages could all be the same. They could be, or they could be 3 or 4 different colors. Here I'm just going to use a contrasting color, and I'm only going to make use 3 pages on the interior, so it's a total of 4. So it's 3.5 by 6, and then you could use a little slip of paper that's 3.5 inches this way and an inch or 2 this way. I'll show you how we're going to use this template so that we know where to poke this hole right here. So let's start by folding our pages in half. I'm going to use my bone folder to get a nice fold here. If you don't have a bone folder, as I said, you could use the edge of your a ruler. So just like this, just give it, go in both directions, give it a nice fold. And now that I have folded these all in half, I'm going to nestle them inside each other. So I've got my 3 interior pages and the cover. I'm going to nestle them inside each other. And you can see that the thickness of the paper, when they're all nestled together, makes the edges stick out here. So what you can do to compensate for that is you can use your binder clips or paper clips and just clip it like this, and then take your ruler, and I'm going to trim this excess right here using my ruler and my X-Acto knife. So I'm going to come to the edge of the covers, try to make sure that it's at right angles, and I'm just going to trim. I'll have to go through several times because the paper is very thick. Okay, now you can see the pages are nice and even. So I have the pages all nestled together and the binder clips holding them. And now's when we use the template. So the template is 3.5 inches tall, the same height as the book. And I'm just going to fold it in half so I know where the center line of my book is. Okay, see right where that fold is? That's the center. Then I'm going to use my pencil and I'm going to put a little mark there where the center is. And then I'm going to draw like a little triangle here. See how This is the center line, and I drew a little triangle, and then I'm going to draw a little triangle up here that has about the same dimensions as that triangle there, because we're going to do some snipping off either with our scissors or with our X-Acto knife. I think this is a little too thick for me to use my scissors, so I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and my ruler. I may have to reposition so I can get a good angle here. Oh. Okay, looks like I need to do a little bit more cutting here. Oh my gosh, that is so in there. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut these. I don't think I need my ruler. Okay, and if you notice on this book, I rounded the edges, and I use this tool here. It's called a Crocodile Corner Chomper. It's made by We Are Memory Keepers, and I'm sure there are other ones out there. And I use the quarter round chomper and just put the pages in a couple at a time and chomp. And you can still do it after you've completed the book. But I just wanted to share with you, if that's something that you wanted to do, because I think it adds a nice touch, you can certainly do it. So now we're ready to install the spine material, and I'm using an 1/8 inch wide white ribbon, but as I said, and about 14 inches or so to start with, and I can trim it if need be. And so I'm going to hold my book together with the binder clips, just so it just doesn't wiggle around and the hole stays in the seam. All the holes are lined up. So I'm going to start by taking the ribbon and pushing it through that opening there and leaving enough thread here, or ribbon here, so that I can tie part of the bow. And then I'm going to go up to the top and around and into that little slot that I made there, and then all the way down the back of the spine, and then around the bottom, and then back through the middle hole. Okay, so I place it through there, and I'm going to make sure that one of the ribbons is to the right and one of the end ribbons is to the left, so I can tie a knot around the ribbon that goes down along the spine. Okay, so I'm tying a knot, and then with the two ends, if you wanted to, you could add some beads, or you could fray this and just leave it like that, but I'm just going to go ahead and tie a bow. Sort of. So that is how you make a modified pamphlet stitch book. Easy squeezy. Makes a nice gift and a fun project.